Mythical champions are always a hell of a lot of fun, as well as like luxury nukers on your account, like the likes of Volcanos. However, in reality, it's champions like Deacon Armstrong and the likes of champions like Duck the Pierced that are actually going to carry the hell out of your teams in the likes of faction wars and wave content in general. Chaos City, Doom Tower secret rooms, all of those areas of the game need Giga Chads like Duck the Pierced to babysit the hell out of your team and keep your nukers safe in these areas of the game. So what is up, guys? This is Cobb. We're going to be covering one pick for every faction in this game. Budget monsters that are epic champions only, that are going to carry the hell out of each of your factions in all kinds of wave content in this game. And yes, I'm recording this video on one of those days where I've just got an absolutely gnarly headache, bro. Oh my god, I spent like 7 hours doing account takeovers today, and I'm recording a couple videos with this gosh darn patch on my head, because we just got to keep the grind going, you know what I'm saying? Hey, before we get started, man, if you're looking to start off a new Raid Shadow Legends account with one of the Giga Chad wave controllers that we're about to talk about in this video, actually in the form of Deacon Armstrong, which you'll get at account level 45, then look no further than starting that new raid account than with my beginner promo link that's down below at the top of the description box below. Best beginner promo link going, and an incredible time to start off a new raid account, given that with promo code Demon Slayer on day one of your new raid account, you can grab yourself Thorlin Foulbeard as like a second free legendary account, champion on your new raid account, man, on day one of that account. So really incredible time to start off a new account, man. Make sure to get that done. I tell you what, let's actually start in reverse, man. We'll go from Sylvan Watchers and work our way up. And to be honest, man, Sylvan Watchers has a lot of incredible champions here. I'm just going to keep it to one pick per faction, and for me, it will be Creodan the Blue. This guy is nuts, okay, crazy as hell. He's got a triple hit to A1 with chance of placing freeze, so he's got great scalability into hard mode Fire Knight and other areas of the game. But when it comes to wave content, nothing is dying on your team if Creodan is in the squad. I said it, okay. I think he's insane. I think this guy is mental, okay. Start with the A3, so 310 cooldown, increased speed buff, 10 meter fill on all allies, just incredibly excellent. It's a high tuned A2. You know what I'm saying? Very nice to have. He handles that job, keeps your team moving nice and fast. Not only that, 310 cooldown on his A2, attacks all enemies 2 times, each hit with a 65% chance of placing freeze debuff for 110. Dude, if you just have like a fast Creodan, you will just never take damage ever from waves of enemies. Because he's moving so fast, he's boosting his own speed, boosting his own 10 meter, he's getting around again using this A2 super quick. He's just gonna have the enemy wave constantly frozen. Like, I don't know, man. He seems insane to me. Impossible to die to a wave of enemies unless they're like all force affinity or something with Creodan the Blue on side. In the interest of saving my head from yet more of a headache, by the way, I'm going to skip over like the honorable mentions and stuff that I usually do in videos like this and just really keep it to one pick per faction because yeah, my cranium will thank me, you know what I'm saying? But feel free to mention any champions that you would pick instead of my picks down below in the comments, man. Now for the Shadowkin, there's something to be said for Taragi, Hitatsu. These are champions that I love, Taragi in particular. For me though, you don't get a better wave carry champion, man, than Burangiri, the ultimate babysitter for the Shadowkin. This guy is great, okay? Brings a 40% land rate provoke on his A1, which is definitely a nice to have. Also brings a 60% land rate stun on his A2 on a 310 cooldown, so great wave control from this skill. But even if the stun doesn't land, who the hell gives a damn, because he places strengthen and shield buffs on all allies on his A3 on a 410 cooldown. Burangiri, of course, also has other uses as well, such as being able to literally solo Dreadhorn Bommel, the Doom Tower boss, if you're getting stuck on that at any time. He's got exactly the same passive skill as Lady Annabelle, who's another champion that can solo the hell out of Bommel. All you're going to do is build him in a regeneration set, high HP, high speed, and he can get the job done completely solo against the boss in all difficulty stages. And so that's lovely as well, but when it comes to wave control, lovely. Slightly better than Taragi for me, at least. No disrespect to Taragi. Moving on to the Dwarves faction, man, where we haven't actually got that many to pick from. It's kind of interesting. I thought there'd be like more controllers in the Dwarf faction, to be fair, more provokers and stuff like that. But what we do have is Rockbreaker, an extremely underrated champion. Faction Wars Beast 4.4, get out of here, man. This guy's like a 4.9 in Faction Wars, to be fair. 310 cooldown on his A2 once fully bugged up, and then 100% chance of placing provoke on all enemies for 1 turn. Also places counterattack on himself as well. Also because he places provoke, he doesn't attack all enemies, then try and place the provoke. He can't weak hit with this provoke, right? So it really is 100% land rate as long as you've got the accuracy, which is lovely. Then he's counterattacking in with this A1, which increases his defense by 4% each time he uses an A1. So this stacks up to 20% very, very quickly indeed. And then on his passive, chance of decreasing the damage inflicted on this champion by 50% every single time he is attacked. Just a nice to have, means that you can actually build him with a bit less focus on just piling on the defense and just building him way, way faster than you otherwise would, so you can just spam the hell out of this A3 as much as possible. Rockbreaker, underrated, undervalued little bucket head. He's doing great, man. Moving on to the Knights Revenant faction. Honestly, not a massive amount of wave control here. That doesn't absolutely suck, and so I think it's a pretty easy pick for a Miscreated monster. Miscreated is just great, brings a chance to stun, pretty high land rate given it's a double hitter, 25% chance to stun with, okay, it's not actually that high, 25% chance to stun, but at least it's a double hitter, is what I should say, on his A1. Then brings a good old AoE, attack all enemies, 3-turn cooldown, 50% chance to stun on the A2, which is great. Most importantly though, if the stun doesn't land, which, you know, it's only a 50% chance, place a shield buff on all allies for 3 turns equal to 25% of the damage inflicted. And so actually building this guy with like crit damage gauntlets, you know, isn't the worst idea in the world. Maybe like a crit damage amulet in there as well, so he can actually do decent damage with this skill. It's a 3-turn duration shield, man. That lasts for pretty damn long, so even if you've got quite a fast team and they're kind of cycling through their buffs quite quickly, 3-turn duration means it's at least going to stick around for quite some time. Even if it doesn't though, he brings ally protection as well, and a little bit of self-healing too. Can't get much better as far as the Knights Revenant faction goes, man, when it comes to babysitters than good old Frankenstein himself. I forgot the name of Frankenstein for a second there, man. Well, it's technically Frankenstein's monster, but you know what I mean. Anyways, man, on to the Dark Elves. Love the opportunity to spotlight this champion. My goodness, I tell you what, there's some decent ones in here, man. We could mention like the Kaiden as like a reviver, decrease attacker, but I'm talking more control, extreme control, the likes of Sylar. Oh my god, the BDSM queen herself. She's remarkably good at tying enemies up, and not in that way, you filthy bugger. On a A3, 4-turn cooldown, place decreased speed debuff, strong version on all enemies for 2 turns. Again, she places the debuff. Well, she's void affinity, so it doesn't matter anyway, but whatever, man. Place the debuff, decreased turn rate of all enemies by 40%. What are we even talking about, man? And then she gets a speed aura in faction crypts as well. And then she brings an attack all enemies A2 and A1, right? So you can put her in a stun set also, if you wanted to. That's even more wave control. Yeah, she's disgusting. I'll not have any debate on this. She is clearly the best wave controller as far as epics go in the Dark Elves faction. My only cheat there is that she's void affinity, which I'm going to try and stay away from for most of my picks. Undead Hordes, this one's not so obvious. For me, it's a tie between Vorgoth and Husk. I'd pick both of them if I could, man, but frankly, I've got to break somebody's heart today, and I think I'm going to break Vorgoth's heart. Just because I feel like, okay, I'm like bending my own rules here a little bit, man, to bring Husk into the conversation, but Husk is so good into just more areas of the game than Vorgoth. Not that Vorgoth isn't versatile. Vorgoth is great into many areas of the game too, but Husk, I just feel like he has that longevity factor because of his enemy max HP smack on his A2, just giving him value as a god. I mean, wherever you want to use an enemy max HP nuker, you know, Hydra comes to mind, Spider comes to mind in certain team builds. He also has the addition of being able to place Provoke on a double hitter A1 with an actual pretty decent land rate. 40% chance on a double hit is just fine for like a starter Provoker. Into Hydra, my goddamn head pad keeps on trying to peel off. Oh god, it's nice and cool, man. Just please stay where you are, bro, just a little bit longer. But yeah, Husk also brings, of course, a chance to stun on this A2 as well, so pretty solid into wave content also, and pretty decent as a wave controller champion. I think if you're strictly talking about the parameters of this video, wave control and stuff, Husk is probably better in that sense. He's got a higher land rate AoE provoke that also places decreased attack on enemies that the provoke lands on, and so, and then he also brings some healing as well on his passive. So I don't know, man, Husk is probably the real winner. Sorry, Vorgoth is probably the real winner, but I'm going to say Husk because I'm a son of a gun. And just to clarify, it's my dad that's the gun, not me, ma'am. Okay, moving on to epics for the Demonspawn faction. Ultimate wave controllers, man. I could even just mention Allure, dude. Just having a spammer A1 is actually pretty effective into wave content as well. But you know what, man? I'm going to go with Atchak the Windrun. This guy's insane. This guy's a nutter. This guy is not built quite often enough for my liking, man. That said, he does take just an unreasonable amount of bucks to get this guy fully booked on up. That said, you're going to be hard pushed to find a better wave controller in the entire game that is of epic quality, man. This A3, attack all enemies, 90% chance booked of placing freeze debuff for 110 on enemies whose attack is higher than their defense, which I've just realized in real time is very, very good into Spider's Den, but might not actually be that good into wave content. Right? Into like faction wars and stuff. I'm gonna change my mind. Jack the Wenderin, still a great champion by the way. Spider control specialist, ridiculous 10 meter fill on his passive and all of that. No, I'm gonna change my mind. I'm just gonna go for another Void Epic, man. It's Umbral Enchantress. Who am I fooling, man? This champion's unbelievable. Her A3, as far as control and wave content goes, is nuts. Attacks all enemies. 100% chance book to placing provoke for 2 turns on all enemies, bro. Insane. Now, it does place a block active skills debuff on Umbral Enchantress for 5 turns, okay, completely locking her out from doing anything else. This block active skills debuff cannot be resisted or blocked and cannot be removed. However, that's not necessarily true, because if you kill the current wave of enemies that you are up against and you move on to the next wave in Faction Wars, well, technically all debuffs on your champs fall off at that point, right? So you actually can remove it by just killing the wave of enemies that you're up against, which hopefully in 2 or 3 turns, you got enough damage to get that done. Umbral Enchantress, yeah, she is the gal for controlling waves of nerds. Next up, man, we've got the Orc faction, and it can only be one, man. I never pass up the chance to pass up Duck the Pierced. You knew it was coming. Dude, what an absolute Uruk. Look at this guy, man. Oh, it's just incredibly awesome design on this guy. And yeah, he's very, very strong as well. 410 cooldown provoke on his A3, place a provoke debuff for 110 on a target enemy, then has a 75% chance of placing provoke on 2 additional random enemies. Very, very nice. Got a little bit of bonus reflect damage and killable buffs there as well on Duck. Also, he's also particularly good into waves because he brings an attack all enemies on a 3-turn on his A2, 100% chance book to placing decreased attack and placing strong decreased defense debuff on each crit as well. So you build this guy with crit gauntlets if you need to. Get him up to 100% crit rate. Lands 2 key debuffs for just obliterating waves. I mean, they're just good everywhere. Then he brings the provokes as well. Yeah, for the Orc faction, we've got a huge winner in Duck the Pierced, in my view. What a guy. For the Skinwalkers faction, I think it's time for some new blood, man. And by some new blood, I mean, of course... Wait a minute, where the hell is he? Oh, there he is. Lost him for a second there. Narox Blackhorn, the current epic champion involved in the Thorlin fusion. Even if you're not going for the Thorlin fusion, man, you're maybe like too early in the game or something, make sure that you get yourself a Narox Blackhorn. This guy is amazing for controlling waves of enemies. His A3 is bookable down to a 4-turn cooldown. Attack all enemies, 75% chance book to placing provoke for 110. This is great. This debuff cannot be resisted if this champion's defense is lower than the target's, which is a strange condition, but even still, whatever, a 75% land rate provoke on a 410 is pretty damn good as far as wave control goes. And then on his A2, places ally protect as well on a 410 cooldown, as well as a counter attack buff. On a 410 cooldown on the A2. So lovely. Just a little bit of a backup mechanism. If the provoke cooldown is a bit too long, you've at least got that ally protection to fall back on. Great champion to be babysitting your guys in faction wars and wave content and that kind of stuff, man. Double hitter A1 as well with a very, very high land rate of placing decreased speed. Strong version on the A1. That's really, really nice to have as well. Honestly, pretty good as like a babysitter champion to also take into Fire Knight if you're just getting started in the game. Get yourself a Narox, man. Use him in Fire Knight. He's going to place the decreased speed. Double hitter against the boss is going to be useful too. Most importantly though, he's just going to keep your fragile Fire Knight killing boss team alive as they get through the waves and as they make their way to the boss. Narox, very, very solid little addition to the game recently. Lizardmen, bloody hell. Now we've got the opposite problem. All of these guys suck. When it comes to wave controllers, man, when it comes to someone to just control the waves and babysit your team, keep everybody alive, we are lacking options here. You could point to Broodlord. You could, okay? You just bring and attack all enemies, 50% chance of placing stun on a 310 cooldown, okay? You could talk Broodlord here. I mean, his stun is about as reliable as Miscreated Monster's stun, right? 50% land rate, you know, chance can increase as well against enemies that are under decreased speed, but let's just imagine that you don't have an AoE decreased speed champion. It's about as good as Miscreated Monster's stun, except it doesn't place a 3-turn duration shield. You know what I mean? It doesn't apply the shield, which sucks a little bit. Miscreated Monster also has a, I think it was a 4-turn cooldown ally protection. But what does Broodlord have? He places ally protection, but it's only on one ally. Ooh, that's a little bit crap. That's like really bad, actually. That's really quite sucky, you know. Broodlord is fine. He's very much fine. He's got a double hitter A1 that can also place provoke as well. Decent land rate when fully booked. He's okay, but should you be like chomping at the bit, whatever the hell that even means, chomping at the bit to get Broodlord fully booked? Maybe not. You could also consider Jareg, but he's not really a wave controller. Places decreased attack, ally protect, increased defense, sort of 410 cooldown if that's all he's bringing to the table. Like, again, a good champion, but can he be relied upon in the same way that a bloody Sylar can be relied upon or something to control waves? Probably not. You could even build a Jarang. This guy is fine. He brings a very high land rate stun on his A2. You can see why I'm struggling here, right? It's all like single target stuff. I don't know. Lizardmen is one that's just a little bit up in the air, to be honest. I guess my pick will be Broodlord, but I can't recommend that he's like this super powerful champion that like everybody should be building out, you know. On to the Ogryn tribes. Dude, I'm gonna go off on one here, man. Good old Chatterbones. This is an old champion, man. This is an old champion. He's actually got pretty decent in-game reviews, to be fair, so maybe people aren't sleeping on him quite as much as I was worried. But yeah, it's all about his A2. Bookable down to a 410 cooldown. Attacks all enemies 3 times. 75% chance booked of decreasing enemy 10 meter by 30% on each hit. Okay, it leaves that part out of the tooltip because he's an older champion. But yeah, each individual hit has a 75% chance of decreasing 10 meter by 30%. That's crazy. That's on average, I don't know, just quick math off the top of my head, working with averages, blah, 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 carry the 1, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's like average of like 48% 10 meter decrease every single time he uses this against an entire wave of enemies. That's pretty goddamn good. Where did I get 48% from? I don't know, dude, just mental gymnastics. I can't even explain myself right now. My brain is frazzled, okay? That's Chatterbones. You should build him for wave control, man. For the Ogryn tribes, that's it. On to the barbarians, where Armina could be in the conversation, to be fair. It's just like an ultimate wave babysitter. As for Huskarul, I think that Huskarul probably takes the cake here, though. I think his stun land rate is just too good on this A2 that he just annihilates the competition really in this faction. It's an attack all enemies, bookable down to a 310 cooldown, 75% chance booked of landing stun for a turn, decrease the turn rate of enemies under stun debuffs by 15%. Nuts. Also brings a pretty good land rate stun as well on his A1, and to boot on his passive, increase the damage inflicted by all allies by 15% when attacking enemies under stun debuffs. So he's a great support champion as well. Yeah. Huskarul is great. For me, he edges out the competition in Armina. The only case you can make for Armina instead, she brings like good amount of 10 meter control and stuns enemies who have their 10 meter fully depleted. She does also bring 100% land rate, decreased defense as well as part of her kit also. So if you need the decreased defense, for whatever reason, like you didn't build a War Maiden and then you pull in Armina, you might want to build her instead and let her handle the job. But my overall pick is going to be Huskarul. Sacred Order, it's Deacon Armstrong. I'm sick of covering this champion, frankly, man. 10 meter boost, 10 meter control, decreased defense, speed aura in all battles there. Boom, done. Done. We don't have to pay any more attention to that. Everybody's got to know just how good Deacon Armstrong is, man. It's kind of been done to death. In fact, you can get Deacon Armstrong as part of my beginner promo link, which you guys already know that as well. Yeah, just an excellent champion, man. On to the High Elves. Well, ooh, who we talking here, man? Why am I pretending that this is suspenseful? It's Skaramis, okay? Skaramis is insane. AoE, like attack all enemies, places decrease attack debuff. It's like a 75% land rate, which is pretty good. Then also brings to the table an A3 on a 310 cooldown, 100% land rate provoke on all enemies for 110. Then places counterattack and a heal on himself, and the counterattack is extra good because when enemies attack on into you, right, they use all of their 10 meter, they attack on into your Skaramis because they're provoked. He counterattacks back with this A1, attacks one enemy, 90% chance of stealing, booked at least, 90% chance of stealing 50% of the target's 10 meter, and then has a 30% chance booked of placing a stun for 1 turn if the target's 10 meter is fully depleted by this skill. Meaning whenever he counterattacks an enemy with this A1, right, a provoked enemy, he just has a chance to follow up that provoke with a stun right away, which is just, I mean, oh, what an absolute Chad. I mean, he's just absolutely insane. Yeah. Build Skaramus. Next up, man, the Bannerlords faction. You know, there's a pretty decent case to be made for Archmage Helmet. Brings like an AoE stun as well as some pretty nice buffs to your team as well. So I wouldn't hold it against no man if your pick happened to be Helmet. I think mine is going to be more of an underrated little man. Well, actually, I'm sure he's a large man under the suit of armor. Giscard the Sigilled. Look at this guy, man. Brings all kinds of buffs to the table on a 3-turn. Increased defense, increased attack, strong versions. Very, very nice to have. Checks all of those boxes. However, he also brings a 3-turn cooldown. Attack all enemies, 75% chance Burk to placing Provoke for 1 turn, and then also shields himself up as well. Pretty damn high land rate Provoke for an epic champion on a 3-turn. Really, really good stuff. And again, another one of those babysitter champions that you can't really feel too bad about. Maxing on up. The passive is even pretty solid as well. Fill this champion's 10 meter by 15% whenever they are attacked by an enemy under Provoke or increased attack, and so gets himself all kinds of free 10 meter fill, even brings a decreased attack as well on his AR1. Defense aura and faction crypts, just brings everything you need to keep your faction wars teams hale and hearty, which is something that I am definitely not in real life right now. I'm gonna go rest my head. And yeah, rest off this headache, man, because I'm tired of recording videos with this goddamn patch on my head. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you agreed with my picks. If you did, make sure to like on the video. If you didn't, make sure to comment on the video with any picks that you disagree with and what you would have picked instead, man, as your, I guess, wave content babysitters, your secret unsung heroes for each of your factions, man, on a budget. Let me know down below, man. Thanks for watching. If you're looking to start off a new Raid Shadow Legends account, make sure to get that done by clicking on the beginner link that is down below at the top of the video description box. Use that link to make your new account, man, and all the freebies that you see on screen right now shall be yours completely for free on that new account just by leveling that account on up. Thanks for stopping by, and I'm going to catch all of y'all just a tad bit later, man.